Hello everyone, welcome back to Genius Knowledge Point, your one place for practical programming solutions for computer and IT students. I am making this video to provide practical knowledge to all students so that you can develop your own programs which will be helpful for your studies as well as career. In this video we will perform practical number 8 of Java programming, which is according to Diploma Computer and IT case scheme and 4th semester. But anyone who wants to learn Java programming and understand the concept of inheritance and its types can follow this video. So the concept will be very clear, and this inheritance is very important because it is the base of object-oriented programming. That is, according to object-oriented programming pillars, it is one of the pillars of object-oriented programming languages. So before starting our actual program or the practical related questions, we have to understand the concept of inheritance. So what is inheritance? Inheritance is the mechanism by which one class can acquire properties of another class. So that is the general definition of inheritance that we see in our textbooks. So actually, what is inheritance? We are going to reuse whatever we have created earlier in our project or in our program sequence. So that is the inheritance. Inheritance provides us reusability. So for that purpose, we have to go to the diagram so we will understand the concept there. So suppose if you have a class created as a class A, which is having some variables as well as functions. So I am having a class A definition as it is having integer x and y as its variables, and fun1 and fun2, that is functions, as its member functions. So what now I want to do? I want to create one more class, but it should have some properties or all the properties of class A. So for that purpose, what I have to do? I have to create a second class, and in that I have to again create int x and y, then fun1, fun2. I have to define all the functions which are present in class A. So that will be more time consuming and the coding part will be more there. For that purpose, we have a mechanism that is called inheritance. So what we do here, we inherit a class A into class B. So now I am creating class B, but I am not just creating it directly, I am inheriting it from class A. So what it will do, it will take the properties of class A, that is int xy, and both the functions fun1 and fun2 will be taken into class B, and plus additionally we can add class B's properties. That is, I am adding here string s, so which is extra string variable I am creating here. Then I am creating one more function, that is fun3. So one more extra function I am creating here. So now the class B will have int x, y and string s as a variables. So here you see, you don't have to do the coding for x and y, it is already inherited from class A. So that is the advantage of inheritance. We can reuse our previous class definition or whatever we have created previously, that we can reuse inside our inheritance concept. So if you see in class B, I have x, y and string s. These are the member variables, and additionally it will having fun1, fun2 and fun3. All the three functions will be present here. Though it is not displayed here, though they are not visible here, but still they are inherited from class A. So that's why they are already present here. You can directly use them because they are part of class B now. So according to our classes, if you see the parent class or the class from which we are inheriting the second class, that is called a super class or parent class or base class. All the three names are denoting a single class, that is our super class or the class from which we are inheriting the properties, and the class into which we are inheriting the properties, that is called subclass, child class or derived class. So all the three names are denoting this class B. So this is how the inheritance concept is used in Java programming as well as in object-oriented programming. The same concept is present in object-oriented programming, and the same class definition I have explained in that video. So this is how we can use a previous class definition into second class, or we can create one or more classes from that. So that is called inheritance, and this concept we are going to use here. And in this type, what I have done, I have created class A, and from that class A I have created single class B. I have not created one more class from B. So this type of inheritance is called single inheritance. So this inheritance or single inheritance we are going to see in question number 1. So moving toward the question. So in this question, what is given? Write a program to implement single inheritance. So the same diagram I have displayed, that diagram will be denoting a single inheritance. So single class will be present and that class will be inherited into another class. So that is called single inheritance. So now moving toward the code directly. So as I have explained in the diagram, we have to create one class first. So for that purpose I am creating class person. I am not importing anything here because I am not using scanner or other classes. I am directly accepting the values inside program. So class person, so this is the base class, super class or parent class. So this is how the class person will be. So inside that class person I am taking a string variable, that is string name, and in that I am creating a function, that is public void get. So this function will be accepting the name value, and in that bracket I am passing parameter, that is string n. So this parameter will be taken into name value. So name is equal to n, so the value from n will be copied into name and the name variable will be initialized here. Next I am creating one more method, that is public void show. In that method I am just printing the value, that is name is, so this is the message part which is enclosed in double quotes, and plus I am attaching the name variable. So it will display the name value whatever we have passed into this parameter. So the function is closed here and class is closed here. Now next we have to create a second class from this person. So we have to follow the syntax which is present in Java. So what I am doing here, class student. So this is the definition of second class. But now what I have to do, I have to inherit the person class into student. So for that purpose we use extends keyword. So whenever we want to inherit one class to another class, we have to use extends keyword, and in front of that we have to attach or we have to place the previous class name from which we are inheriting. So extends person. So that means the properties from person are taken into student. So person is inherited into student. So this is how the definition will be, and inside that I am creating int roll number. So this is the additional variable we are creating inside student. So when we have inherited person into student, already the properties of person are inherited into student. So what it will inherit? It will inherit this name, that is string variable, then get function will be inherited and show function will be inherited as it is. But additionally I want to create a roll number variable, so I am creating it here. So though it is not visible, that is the name, get function and show function is not visible here, but they are already present here because they are inherited. So the roll number is created. Next I am creating a function, that is public void accept. Inside that I am taking integer value as a parameter, and that value I am copying into roll number variable. So this is how roll number will be initialized. Then I am calling creating one more method, that is display function, and in that I am displaying roll number value. So roll number is, this is the message, and attaching roll number variable value. So it will display the roll number. So both the functions are complete and second class is also completed. So this is how we have inherited person class properties into student class. But still our program is not complete because we have to create a main class. So for that purpose I am creating one more class, that is public class single inheritance demo. So this is my main class, and in that main class I am creating a main function. That's why it becomes main class, and the file name should be saved with this main class name. So single inheritance demo.java, that should be our file name for this program. So this is how the definition will start. Inside that I am creating main function, that we have already know. We have seen this in the previous practicals. So inside main function I am creating one object of student class. So student s is equal to new student. This will call the default constructor, and the s object will be created. Then I am calling get function, which is not present in student class, but it is present in person class. And as person is inherited into student, we can call this get function because it is already present in this student class. So I am calling get function and passing this value, that is ABCD. So this is taken as a student name. So I am passing ABCD as student name. Then I am calling accept function, which is present in student class. So that is accepting the roll number value. So the 47, that will be the roll number that is accepted, and that value will be stored into roll number variable of student class. Then s.show I am calling. So this method is present in person class, but it is inherited into student. So it will call the show method and display the name which we have inserted into the get function. So it will display the name, and finally I am calling display function, so it will display the roll number. So this is how we are calling the functions of student class, which are present inside student class but not visible because they are inherited from person class. So the coding is complete here. I am just saving this file. Then for the running, I have to go to that location where I have saved the file. So this is the location where my single inheritance demo file is present. So to run this file, we have to first open CMD. So for that purpose, you already know how to open CMD. We have seen this in previous practicals. So the CMD is open here. Next, I have to type the command, that is java c. Then I am just copying this name and pasting it here. So there will not be any mistake in typing the file name and attaching extension, that is single inheritance demo.java. So after entering, if you see that there is no error, that means the program is compiled successfully. Next command is java command and attaching class name only. So if you see, the output is generated, name is printed as ABCD, which we have accepted in student class, and roll number is also printed, which is 47. So this is how we have inherited the person class into student class, but we are calling the methods inside student class using student class object. That's why it is accepted into student class. So it is ABCD and 47 will be taken for student class. We are not creating object of person. We are just reusing the person class properties using student class object. So this is how the inheritance works in Java programming or any other object-oriented programming language. So this is how the inheritance concept will be, where we can create one class, then or we can directly use previously created classes, that we will see in the later practicals, that how to use the previously created classes, and we can use the methods as well as variables which are inherited into derived class. So this is how our first question of practical related question is complete. Now let us see second question. Write a program to implement multi-level inheritance. In previous question we have seen single inheritance, and we have already seen the concept of inheritance, how to use inheritance in the classes in Java programming. So in this question we have to use multi-level inheritance concept. So what is multi-level inheritance? For that purpose we will go to diagram again. So in the previous question we have seen that if you have a class A, you can inherit it into class B. So the class A will become superclass, parent class or base class, and the class B will become child class, subclass or derived class. So this is how single inheritance works. But whenever we are creating one more level of inheritance, that is, if you have class A created and from that we have created class B, and again from B we are creating one more class, that is class C. So we are inheriting the properties of class B into class C. So it is called multi-level inheritance because we have multiple levels here. Class A will be parent for class B and class B will be parent for class C. So this is how the class C will be having both classes properties, that is from class A as well as class B it will inherit all the properties, and that will be taken into class C, plus it will have its own properties. So this is how multi-level inheritance works. So this is the program that we have to perform here. So moving towards the question again. So multi-level inheritance, for that purpose we have to take some classes. So I am going toward the code. So initially, as we have seen in the previous question, I am creating class person. In that I am taking string variable as a name. Then I am using method or defining a method, that is get person. In that parameter I am passing a string value and I am taking that value or copying that value into name variable. Next I am creating one more function, display person, and in that function I am just displaying the name which we have accepted using get person function. So it will display the name. Next the class is completed here. Now I am creating one more class from person. So that is class employee extends person. So this we have seen in the previous question, that whenever we are inheriting the classes or we are using inheritance, we have to use extends keyword. So for that purpose I am extending person class into employee class. So the employee class will inherit all the properties which are present inside person class. So it will take the name variable, get person function and display person function. So this is how the employee class is inherited, and in that I am taking some extra variable, that is I am taking int id, so that will be id for employee. Then I am creating function as get emp. Inside that I am taking integer variable that will be accepted as id. Then I am defining one more function display employee, and in that I am just displaying the id number is as a message and attaching id value. So this is how both the functions are complete here, plus additionally get person and display person functions are inherited here, which are not visible but they are present here. So the second class is complete here, that is class employee. Next I am creating one more class, that is class programmer extends employee. So this is how the employee's properties will be taken into programmer, and already employee is having properties of person, so automatically the person properties will be taken into programmer. So this is called multi-level inheritance. So in that programmer I am taking some extra variables, that is string skill. So skill variable I am taking, then I am defining a function get programmer. In that I am taking a string variable and accepting the string skill value here. Then display programmer function is defined and displaying the skill languages, this is the message, and displaying the skill value. So this is how the data will be displayed here for programmer. So the functions are complete and class is also complete. So all the three classes related to multi-level inheritance are completed here, but still we haven't created main class. So for that purpose we are creating one more class, that is public class multi-level inheritance demo. So this is the class name and it should be the same as file name. So this is the class name and it should be public because it is main class. So in that I am creating main function public static void main string args. So I am creating object of programmer class directly. So programmer obj is equal to new programmer. So automatically the object created for programmer, and it will be having properties of person as well as employee. So I am calling first method as obj.getPerson. So it is calling the method which is inherited from person class. So I am passing the value as abc. So this is the person name. Then I am calling getEmp function which is inherited from employee class. So I am passing just integer value as we have designed in our function. Next I am calling getProgrammer function which is designed or defined inside programmer class. So I am passing skill as a Java. So next I am calling display person. So it will display the person name. Then I am calling display employee. So it will display the ID number. Then I am calling display programmer function. So it will display the skill language or the skill value. So this is how we have called all the functions on the programmer object which is having properties from employee as well as person class. So this is how multi-level inheritance is done here. So the function is complete and class is also complete. So just saving the file, then going to the location where I have saved the file. This is the location, file is present there. Before that I am just copying this class name because it is very big name and mistakes happen while typing the class name on command prompt, and it may show the error that file not found. So for that purpose I am just copying it. Then for running I have to open cmd here. So typing cmd, opening cmd. Then first command is compiling, that is java c class name dot java. I'm just maximizing it. So java c multi-level inheritance demo dot java, this is the file name. Pressing enter. So there is no error, that means program is compiled successfully. Then second command is java multi-level inheritance demo. So just pressing enter, if you see the output is generated, name is printed abc which we have entered, then id number is printed 4545, then skill language is printed as java. So as we have entered the values, it has displayed all the values according to our values which we have entered, and we have implemented the multi-level inheritance here because we have called different functions from different classes. Using person class we have called the name display function, then from employee class we have displayed the id, then from programmer class we have displayed the skill value. So this is how we have implemented multiple inheritance, and this question is complete. Now let us see next question. Develop a program to calculate the room area and volume to illustrate the concept of single inheritance. So in this program what we have to do, we have to use single inheritance and we have to calculate the area of room and volume of the room. So the class definitions are not given, so we have to assume our own classes. So I will be taking room class, and inside room class we will be having length and width values. Then I will create a second class to calculate the volume of the room, and that will be inheriting the room class. So this is how the definitions will be, and using the room class method as well as volume class methods, we will be calculating area and volumes. So this is how the coding structure or inheritance structure of our program will be. So directly moving toward the coding part. So initially I am creating a classroom. So classroom, inside room definition, I am taking two integer variables, length and width. So these are the dimensions of room. So length is length value and width is width of the room. Then here I am using one more concept, that is we are going to use constructors, and using constructor we are going to implement inheritance. So I am creating constructor of the room class. So we have already seen how to create constructor in the previous practicals. The room constructor will be having the same class name, that is room. Then inside the parameter bracket I am passing two values, integer values, that is L and W. So these values will be accepted for length and width values. So that is length is equal to L and width is equal to W. So this is how we are setting, or we are initializing length and width for a room object. Next I am creating one more method, that is void calculate area. So room is the constructor part and void calculate area is the function part. So inside it I am creating integer a is equal to length into width. So this is the calculation of area, and that value will be stored into variable a, and I am just printing that area as room area is equal to, or room area colon plus a plus square unit. So this is the formatting part. So it will display the area, then it will display the message, then area, then square unit message. So this is the formatting and attachment of strings. So the function is complete and room class is complete here. Next we have to calculate volume of the room. So for that purpose I am taking one more class, and I am inheriting the room class into that second class. So class room volume. So this is the second class I am creating, and extends room. That means the room properties will be taken into room volume class, because we are inheriting the room class into this room volume class. So automatically the length, width and the calculate area function as well as the constructor part will be taken into this room volume, because it is inherited from room class. So automatically that properties will be taken into this class. Plus additionally I am creating height as a variable, that is int height. Then I am creating constructor of room volume class, the room volume. So as we have inside our room volume class length, width and height, three variables are present. So for that purpose I have to pass three parameters here. So int L, int W, int H. So these three parameters are for three properties, that is three variables. So from these three variables, height is already present inside room volume, but length and width is taken from the room class. So for that purpose we have to call the constructor of super class, so which is our room class, and for that purpose we have a keyword which is super keyword. So what is the use of super keyword? Super keyword is used to call the superclass constructor inside subclass constructor, and it is always the first statement of subclass constructor. So that's why super will be our first statement, and in that super I am passing two values, that is L and W, which are accepted as parameters inside our room volume constructor. So this is how L and W will be taken from these parameters, and they will be passed inside super keyword, and from this super they will be sent to room class constructor, and from that room class constructor they will be copied to length and width, and this is how the length and width for room volume will be initialized. So this is the use of super keyword, to call the superclass constructor inside subclass constructor, and to set or to initialize the parameters or variables which are present in superclass. So this is how length value will be taken, width value will be taken, and that value will be taken for room volume object. It is not going inside room class, it is taken inside room volume class object. So the length and width values are initialized, and finally remaining is the height value. So height is equal to h, that will initialize the height value. So this is how we have initialized length, width and height properties for room volume class object. So the constructor is complete here. Next I am creating a method void calculate volume. So inside it I am taking int v as the variable is equal to length into width into height. So this is just a calculation part, that is calculation of volume, and that value will be stored into v variable. Then after that I am printing the value as room volume. So this is the message plus v plus cubic units. So this is just displaying the volume of room using attachment of strings and variable. Next calculate volume function is complete and room volume class is also completed here. So both the classes are complete which are needed for doing our program, but the remaining part is main function, and for that purpose I am creating main class. So public class room demo. So this is the main class which will be having same as the file name. Then inside it I am creating main function, and inside main function I am creating object of room volume class. So room volume, my room is equal to new room volume, and in the bracket I am passing 3 integer values 10, 12 and 8. So the 10 and 12 values will be taken into this constructor. Whenever we are calling this constructor, automatically this will run this constructor which is designed inside room volume class. So 10 and 12 values will be taken into L and W respectively, and then they will be passed to super keyword. So the 10 and 12 value will be passed to super, and that super keyword will send that value to room class constructor which is called inside room volume. So the values will be copied to length and width variables of room volume class. So this is how the super keyword will work, and these values will be initialized, and finally the remaining 8 value will be assigned to height parameter, that is height variable. So all the values or dimensions are set here. Next I am just calling the functions. So first I am calling my room dot calculate area. So this function is inside room class. So calculate area will run, but it will run for room volume. It will not run for room class. It is calling on room volume object. So it will run inside room volume using this object, and it will display the area as we have designed in our function. Similarly I am calling second function my room dot calculate volume. So it will display the room volume, and it will attach the volume value which is calculated in this function, and after that attach cubic units. So finally the main function is complete here, and class is also complete. So just saving the file at my location, then opening the file location. So this is the room demo Java file. So to run this program I have to open CMD here. So typing CMD, then to run this program I have to put the command, that is java c command. So java c space room demo dot java. So there is no error, that means program is compiled successfully. Then putting second command to run the program java space room demo. So if you see, the area is calculated as 120 square units, so that we have formatted inside our system.out.println messages and attachment of variables. Then volume is also calculated, which is printed at 960 cubic units. So this is how we have created room class. Then the properties of room class are inherited into room volume class, and we have called their respective methods to calculate area as well as volume using their respective functions which are present for room volume class. So this is how we have completed this question, and also practical number 8 is completed. So to run this program you have to actually sit in front of the computer or laptop. You have to open notepad, you have to actually type your code, then you have to compile this code. After compiling, it is possible that you may find some errors, then you have to solve those errors, then only you will become good programmer, because no programmer is having no errors. Every programmer may face error, and when you solve those errors you will learn something new, and you will not make that mistake in the future programs. So that is the basics of programming. You have to practice program more and more. You have to solve your errors whichever are generated. They are not automatically solved. This is how practically you will understand programming and you will learn programming. So this practical is complete here, which was having single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, which was the types of inheritance and inheritance concept. So that's it for today's practical. I hope you understand the program clearly. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more such programming solutions, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. If you have any doubts or need solutions for other programs, drop a comment below. I will be happy to help. Thanks for watching and happy coding.